Welcome to Art Inspired Yoga at the Barrie Art Museum. My name is Leah of Rise and Shine. This flow we highlight Edward Moran, the winning yacht, Countess of Dufferin, and Madeline. Moran was an English-born American artist of maritime paintings. Here we see Moran's composition capturing the two ships slicing through the waves, their curved movement highlighting the pivotal moment of the race, the turn around the buoy. If you enjoy programming such as this, come join the Barrie Art Museum. We'd love to have you. Onward to the yoga portion. You can see the paintings right behind me here. There's the Moran piece we highlighted. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and take a seat on your mat. You can have your blocks by you. Let your soles of your feet come to touch. Gently opening up our hip flexors here. You can grab your feet if that feels good. Encourage your knees downward to the mat. Keep your chest lifted. Imagine there's a string coming through the crown of the top of your head, pulling upward. So feeling a slight opening around our hips. If it's too much, you can walk your feet out further. The closer your feet are to your trunk, the more intense the stretch. The further out, the more gentler. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Sometimes we collapse. Let your chest be open. Feel the stretch along your left side. Roll your neck to the other side. Left ear comes towards your left shoulder. And roll your neck back down to center. Bring your knees together like a book. Cross your legs. And we're going to swing our legs aside, lowering with control, engaging our core, tucking our chin to our chest, and then lay back down on the mat. Rest your shoulders down into their sockets, even when you're laying down. Your chin is separated from your chest here. Soles of your feet come to touch, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Ground into yourself and breathe here. Today's flow will all be water-based, so a lot of hip opening, a lot of fluid motion. Breathe in and out. Always listen to your body. Move to the point of stretch and growth, never pain. See how you can flow through this motion, flow through this movement, even in your own breath. Gently close your legs together, knees come together. Hug your right knee, now your left, into your chest. Gently rocking side to side, massaging our lower back against the floor, feeling supported by the ground. As always, keep breathing. Tee out your arms now to the floor and exhale, both knees lower to the left. Keep your right shoulder down to the ground. You can look up towards the sky. Or if it feels good for your neck, look over your right shoulder. Complete supine twist here. Doing our best to keep our knees stacked upon each other. Inhale, knees come back to center. Hug at your hamstring and gently just rock side to side again. Extend your right leg, then your left. If we lose our balance, we know we can always come back, sort of finding that equilibrium as if we're out on the seas. Tee out your arms again, and exhale, both knees come to the right this time. Knees are stacked as best as possible. Left shoulder comes to the ground. You can look up to the ceiling or look over towards your left hand again. You choose what feels best for you. Full breath cycles in and out. Even in these twists, still oxygenating ourselves. Knees come back to center. Rocking gently side to side. Extend your right leg, extend your left. Flex your right foot, flex your left foot. Arms extend outward, just alternating legs kicking up. You can cactus your arms here too. Gently waking up our bodies with some ankle circles. Lowering our legs down as far as our abs can support. Eventually our feet come down to the mat. Nice. All right, gently roll onto one side now. And come on back to tabletop. You can make fists with your hands if that feels better. Drop your belly here to cow. Keep your collarbones broadened. Arch your back here to cat. Release your belly to cow, warming up our spine. Exhale to cat. Speaking about curves with a ship, we're really honoring the curve of our spine. Warming it up gently. Nice. Extend your arms out in front of you. Hips come back to your heels, child's pose. You can rest on your fists or blocks if you like. Or you can rest your forehead down on the mat. Tent onto your fingertips now, if your arms are extended out in front of you. Slide your palms downwards towards your shoulder and slowly, carefully extend into low cobra. That first extend is always a little rocky at times. Come on up to Sphinx now, resting on our forearms. Elbows are stacked underneath our shoulders. Looking down in between our hands, feeling a slight stretch in our back. If ever you feel a pinch, lower down. Good. Gently come back up to tabletop and then push through to child's pose, tenting on top of your fingertips. Exhale, slide through as if you're a snake. Good. Lower onto your forearms to Sphinx, gently warming up our back. Look over your right shoulder. Look over your left. Again, you can lower down further if there's a slight pinch in your lower back here. Tuck your toes, come back, tabletop to child's pose. Tented on our fingertips. Last time, slide on through as if you're a snake. Rise up to Sphinx. Feeling lengthened all along our spine. Tuck your toes under. Shift your hips back, knees come forward if that helps. Lifting up to tabletop. Wrist, elbow, shoulders are all stacked. You can make fists with your hands, of course, if there's too much pressure on your wrists. Extend your left leg straight back now. Bend your left knee. Lift it up to the side. Drawing small, slow circles, feeling your hip joint open up carefully. Good. And then kick your left foot up to the sky. Arch your back. Left foot comes down. Right foot extends straight back, engaging our core. Finding our balance as we draw these circles with our right knee now. Take your time. The hip joint's a very sensitive joint, so don't rush through these circles. More so, waking up our hip joint even more. Circle the other way for balance. Core is engaged, pushing through your fists or your wrists and your palms. Arch your back, lower your right knee. Good. Tuck your toes underneath now and sit onto your heels, warming up our feet. Inhale, arms overhead, and exhale, dive down, plant your palms again, and hips come up, our first down dog of class. Position yourself. You might want to walk your palms out further. Hips and sit bones are reaching up to the sky. Lift onto your heels, shift back and forth between high plank and downward dog. Feeling this wave rippling through your spine. Good. Lift your heels, let that energy flow up to the top of your head into high plank. Shift back into down dog. Inhale, right leg comes up, three-legged dog. Hips stay squared, lead with your heel. And exhale, right knee to nose. Again, lift up a little higher with the three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee comes to nose, finding that movement, finding that flow in our last three-legged dog on the right side. And lower your right leg down, down dog here. Left side's turn. Left leg comes up, three-legged dog, left knee to nose. Build that momentum, build that current. Left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Swing your left knee to your nose. The highest three-legged dog on the left side you have. Good. And lower your left leg down. Keep breathing. Shift your hips. A little wiggle here to loosen up. Nice. Walk your hands back now to meet your feet at the back of your mat. Deep bend in your knees. Grab opposite elbow, rock side to side. Again, playing with that motion, finding that flow and that fluidity. Ragdolling here, you can release your elbows if you like and really just sway side to side. Imagining waves coming back to center, palms come to touch. Lift up to flat back, half lift, extended through the crown of your head. Core is engaged here, shoulders are drawn back. Exhale, release, forward fold with a bend in your knee. Whoosh up, extended mountain pose. Cactus your arms as your sternum raises to the ceiling. Arms come overhead, hands meet at heart center. Lift up and just walk to the front of your mat now. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, Step back to high plank. Lower your knees, untuck your toes, lower down, chaturanga, lift up to upward facing dog or low cobra if that feels better for you. Exhale, down dog. Lift through your heels, bend your knees, hop, float to the front of your mat. Forward fold, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swoop your arms overhead, extended mountain pose, diving back down, building that momentum. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step or hop back, high plank. Shift forward, move through your chaturanga, elbows stay inward. Push through your palms, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, hop or float to the front of your mat. You can always walk to the front of your mat too. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rise up like the sun, extended mountain pose, diving down like sunset. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your palms, step back, move through your vinyasa. You can always do a low cobra here too. Nice. Choose your low cobra or upward dog and exhale, down dog. Great flow here, everybody. Really building that current within ourselves. Lift your heels, bend your knees, hop or float to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Take a breather here. You can shift your weight from one foot to the other, bending one knee, then the other. We had a good momentum going there. Building up that heat, building up that energy. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Relax your shoulder blades down into their sockets. Arms come out now. Strong core. Reach in front of you. Cactus your arms as you stare down into the mat like you're staring into the water. Cactusing your arm, feeling that nice stretch and strength in your upper back and shoulders. Arms can come behind you. Bind your hands. Let your head come down towards the mat as your arms reach overhead, feeling a nice stretch in your arms and upper back and rear delts, your rear shoulders. Release your arms carefully. Plant your palms. Step back to high plank. Left foot comes back, right foot stays in front. You can use blocks here if you like. Feeling an opening in your left hip flexor especially. Lower your left knee down. Lift up. Low crescent lunge. Right arm stays connected to your right quad as your left arm is making big circles back. Almost like a rowing sensation. Now lower your left hand to the mat. Wiggle your right foot out to the side of your mat. We're here in lizard. So you can adjust yourself here. Your left leg can come back a little further. This is a very deep hip opener for your left side. Relax your shoulders, full breath here. Imagining this hip opener is cleansing. Good. Wiggle your right foot back to center. Shift your hips back, half split. Right toes are flexed. Keep a soft bend in your right knee. Use your blocks or whatever props you have to support you here. Good. And exhale, just drape, fall over your right knee. Gently bend into your right foot. Tuck your left toes under, rise up, high crescent lunge. So we went from low to high, kind of like the waves. Good. Hands come to your hips now. Adjust yourself. Tuck your left hip under, and then extend your heel back. Tuck your left knee under, extend your arms up. Bind your hands behind you again. Feel that nice lift in your chest and shoulders. Good. Plant your palms, step your right foot to meet your left. Shift forward, move through your chaturanga if you like, or go right into down dog. With our upward dog pushing evenly through our palms. Exhale, we meet in down dog. Inhale, left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Left knee to nose, step your left foot through. Lower your right knee, untuck your right toes. Rise up, low crescent lunge. Good. Core is engaged. Left hand stays on your left quad as your right shoulder now. Ooh, keep your balance as your right shoulder draws big circles, opening our shoulder joint, but also imagining like we're rowing through the water. Reach up high. Plant your right hand rather. Wiggle your left toes and feet out to the side for lizard. You can roll onto the outer edge of your foot if you like. Just make sure your ankle and knee are stacked. Now both sides may not feel the same. One side may feel more open. If that's the case, if you can go lower, maybe rest onto a block, rest on your forearms. As long as you're feeling a nice hip opener here, a nice hip release, that's what we want. Keep your core engaged. Keep breathing. Good. Shimmy your foot back to center. Shift your hips back. Half split here. Always keeping a bend in your knee if that feels better for your body. Good. And exhale, fold over your left knee. Bring your forehead as close to your left knee as possible. Rise up, bend into your left leg again. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee up. Arms swoop up like a high wave. High crescent lunge here. Good. Hands come to your hips as you tuck your right hip and right knee under, feeling that warmth, feeling that opening in your right hip flexor as you tuck your pelvic bone down. Good. Inhale, arms come overhead. Now grab opposite elbow and gently tug back. Look up to the sky. Keep your core engaged here, feeling a nice opening along your chest and your shoulders. Exhale, release down, plant your palms, step your feet back to high plank, shift hips up, downward facing dog. Good. Lift your heels and your right foot comes up. Three-legged dog, hips are stacked. Bend your right knee, bring your right heel towards your glutes. This is a nice hip opener too. Push evenly through both palms. Extend your right leg long. Right leg comes down. Left leg comes up. Three-legged dog, stack your hips, point your left toe. Bend your left knee. Feeling the opening in your hips, pushing evenly through both palms for support. Extend your left leg and lower your left foot to the ground. Lift onto your heels and bend your knees, come to the mat and come sit up tall, back on your heels. All right, we're kind of just sort of having a flow here. Rise up now, gate pose. So your right knee is bent, your right back of your hand is on the inside of your knee. Stay uplifted. Your hand can gently push your knee back, feeling that opening in your right hip. Shoulders are back, thinking tall. Good. And now straighten your right foot. Turn your toes so that they're facing forward. Inhale, left arm comes up and over, feeling a nice stretch along the left side of your body. If that feels good, let your right hand come off your hip and reach up. Good. Come back up tall, hands to heart center. Switch sides. Left knee is now bent, toes face outward. The left back of your hand is going to gently encourage your left knee back. You can look over your left shoulder. Kind of play with this. Bend your left knee a bit more, push back a bit more, is whatever feels good. Loosen up, release tension you may be holding in your jaw. Good. Straighten your left leg now. Turn your left toes to the front. Right hand comes up and over. Again, when this feels good along the right side of your body, let your left hand join your right hand overhead. Nice side stretch here, while still pushing into the left outer edge of your foot. Come back tall to center, release your hands. Hands come on your hips or heart center. Bring your knees together, sit back down. Nice. Roll your shoulders out. Like we did in the beginning of class, roll our neck out. Feel that nice stretch along the side of our neck. Now plant your palms. You can use your blocks if you need. We are going to do a very big hip opener here, and it's called frog pose. So I'll show you the full frog pose first, but then you can always do one leg at a time. So resting your forearms on blocks or onto the palms of your hand, you're going to spread your legs out as wide as feels good. And do your best to have your ankles and your knees stacked above each other, your toes face outward. Now just this posture, sometimes it takes some playing, so you might want to lean back. Or as you see I'm doing here, we can also do one side at a time. So if you do one side at a time, rest your chest down on the floor, bend one knee, let your knee and ankle be stacked, and the other leg comes straight out behind you. Whatever option you choose, the full expression, or one side at a time, as long as you're getting that big cleansing hip opener, that's what counts. Keep breathing. I know this is an intense pose, so let your breath carry yourself through the waves of this pose. Surrender into it. Allow your hip to open. Good. And when you're ready to come out, bend your legs so that your feet come close together, so it's almost like a wide child's pose, and come back. Whew, that's a doozy. I know. All right. So again, you can use your blocks. Choose if you want to do one side or the other. Let's take a little breather. Mentally recoup. So go ahead, rest down onto your back. Legs are as wide as your mat. Knock your knees into each other. Feel that relief, feel that restoration in your hip girdle. If frog is too much for you and half frog as well, a good alternative you can do is a laying down figure 4. Hug your right knee into your chest. Gently rocking side to side, just taking our time. Good, hug your left knee into your chest. Same thing. In this is called wind removing posture in Bikram. This is also a nice hip opener. So you have so many hip openers to choose from, yeah? All right, knock your knees into each other again. Feet are as wide as your mat. Deep breaths in. And gently rock up. Coming back for round 2. So the first time was our introduction. The second time is we're more used to this. Our body knows what's up. So pick which is right for you. And never force any poses, right? Focus more on the sensation over the aesthetic, meaning it's not so much how it looks, it's more so have correct alignment with our knees and ankles aligned, supporting yourself through your forearms or your hands if they're down on the mat. If you're in half frog, your leg is extended behind you as that one leg is drawn upwards. Let your chest rest on the ground if you're in half frog. Welcome the hip opener. There is going to be resistance, but breathe through it as best you can. If you need to take a break and come out of this posture, you are always welcome to. Enjoy the waves of this posture. Breathe. Good. Now bend your knees, let your feet come towards you. Gently use your hands to walk back up. And slowly, carefully bring your knees together. Good job. That's a doozy, yeah? Little by little, we can open our hips more. Now come back to restorative child's pose. Resting your forehead down. Recollect yourself, collect your breath. Gently push up through tabletop, come to downward dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet, bend your knees, roll up one vertebra at a time, your head's the last thing up. Nice. I'll turn to the side so you can see me a bit better. If you want, you can go onto a wall as we go into our balance posture. Balance on our right foot, lift your left knee up, cross your left ankle over your right leg, left toes stay flexed. Lift your chest up. You're going to feel a big stretch on your outer left thigh. When you feel ready, grow your branches out, kind of waving here, playing with that wave imagery. Or you can do a hand mudra. Strongly bend and root through your right leg and lift up. Good. Shake it out. So even in these static postures, now plant onto your left leg here. Chest is lifted. Pull up through the crown of your head. Lift your right knee up. Cross your right ankle over your left quad. Right toes stay flexed. Bend into your left knee. Lift your chest so your chest meets your sternum and your thumb. Grow your branches here. As I was saying, even in these static postures, there is movement internally, right? Our focus is there, but we're still breathing, so there's still that interior movement. Shake it out. Great job on your balance. Let's flow. Inhale, arms come overhead, extended mountain pose. Cactus your arms, lift your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your palms, walk back out to down dog. Inhale, right leg comes up, three-legged dog. Lift, lift, lift as high as you can. Beautiful. And exhale, right knee to nose. Now we're going to bring your right knee towards your right wrist and your left foot towards your left wrist, setting up for pigeon. Choose your posture if you want to be lifted, or you can rest down on your forearms or rest your forehead all the way down to sleeping pigeon. Enjoy this hip opener. Your right leg that's crossed in front of you does not have to be parallel perfectly to the front of your mat. Good. As you lift up, if that feels good, bend your left knee behind, reach your left hand behind. This is a very big hip opener on your left side. Do your best to have your hips squared down. You might have to shimmy a bit into this posture. If you have a strap, you can use that to grab your left foot if it helps as well. Gently release your left foot, tuck your left toes under, lift up into down dog. Good, and right leg comes up and down. Left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Go as high as you can, stacking your hips. Exhale, left knee to nose. Setting up for pigeon on the left side, left knee to left wrist. Again, you can sort of shimmy into this posture. Take your time here, setting up for pigeon. Lower down to your forearms or rest your forehead down all the way if that feels good for you. If you want more of a stretch, reach your right hand back as you bend your right knee, grab your right foot. Again, you might have to shimmy into this, and that's okay. Do your best to bring your right heel close to your right glute as your hips stay square to forward. Feel the big hip opening in your right side. Stay lifted. Keep breathing. And gently release. Come out of it. Tuck your right toes under. Lift your left foot high to the sky, three-legged dog, and down dog. Good job. Wave forward from high plank. Lower your knees. Child's pose. Coming back to that dragging sensation at the beginning of class, lurching forward into Sphinx. Almost like we're prowling forward like a tiger. Look down, feel the stretch in the back of your neck. Good. And gently lower all the way down. Forehead comes down to the mat. Bend your left leg, reach back with your left hand, bringing your left heel towards your left glute. Forehead stays down on the mat, hips are squared down, actively pushing into the mat. Good, and release. Same thing on the right side. Bend your right leg, grab your right foot, feeling that big opening and release in the front of your right leg. Actively push through your hips. Let your hips really ground into the mat. Release your right foot here. Forehead is still down on the mat here. Let your breath cleanse yourself here. Extend your right arm out. Look over your left shoulder here. And if this feels good, gently roll onto your right shoulder. Left leg comes behind you. Big shoulder opening here. Play with this, be gentle. This is a big shoulder joint opener. Only go so far as it feels good for you. And come back to center, foreheads down. If that was a big stretch for you, you can do this stretch on a wall as well. So onto the left side, keep your left shoulder down as best as possible. Right hand plants, lift your right leg up and over. Breathe into this posture. If you're doing this against the wall, it's the same thing. It's a little more gentle. All right, forehead comes down, back to center, tucking our toes under, shifting into child's pose. Arms are extended in front of you. You can bring your palms to touch, bend your elbows, shark fin. One more sea imagery for the road. Good. Hands extend out in front of you again. Slide your palms under your shoulders, push up. Hero's pose. All right. Gently now, turn around. You're going to lay back down, roll down with control. Like we began in the beginning of class, Supta Baddha Konasana. Feet are together, knees are open. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Keep breathing. This is where I'll leave you for today's flow. Stay in this posture as long as you like, or go into traditional Shavasana with your legs extended outward, arms extended by your side. Thank you for joining in this flow. Enjoy your day.